Ah, the federal government, the world's most expensive reality show, starring your tax dollars. If you've ever felt guilty about spending $7 on a fancy coffee, don't worry. The government says, hold my beer. They have spent millions on things so dumb, they make that $7 salted caramel frappuccino look like a sound investment. Let's dive into 10 of the most wasteful government expenditures of the last couple decades. Ready? Let's climb the ladder. Number 10, a $1.5 million study to see if frogs can jump higher on treadmills. You heard that right, treadmills. And not just any treadmills, teeny treadmills, because you know frogs are teeny. Apparently someone in DC woke up one day and thought, you know what the American people need? Frog cardio research. Yes, the National Science Foundation spent over $1 million to see if frogs get better at jumping when they use treadmills. Tiny treadmills. Yes, they actually built these things. And can frogs jump better after that training? Yes, they can, but who cares? What value is that information? Oh, and poisonous frogs are more athletic. Seriously, more information than you ever thought you needed. But now you know. Meanwhile, we're out here dodging potholes that could swallow a Prius. Number 9, the bottled water taste test study. Prepare your taste buds for our second wasteful wonder. Does bottled water taste different? Yes, folks. Billions in tax dollars were funneled into research to determine whether there's any measurable difference in taste between 95% pure and 100% pure distilled water. No, there isn't. Because apparently someone thought this question was just too important not to go answered. The study concluded with results that frankly left scientists scratching their heads and taxpayers wondering if they should just stick to tap water. You see, there was no difference. This is like a study to determine if a lawn looks better at 3.5 inches versus 3.75 inches. In a world where we could be solving pressing issues, our elected officials waste time and money on useless studies and pet projects. Number 8, $3 million on a space-themed video game that no one played. In 2011, NASA announced the game Starlight Astronaut Academy. They thought making a super expensive space exploration video game would be a great idea. The only problem? No one played it. That's right, $3 million vanished into the void of bad ideas. And it didn't even have multiplayer. And oh, get this, it only took 20 minutes to beat. Most quests and games take longer than that. Come on, NASA. If I wanted to throw money into a black hole, I'd go to Vegas. Yeah, that game was really going to beat out Super Mario and Zelda, huh? Number 7, tax dollars for pickleball. So apparently in 2023, the Department of Interior got into the pickleball business. Yes, pickleball. They dropped a cool $12 million on a 30-court pickleball complex in Las Vegas. $12 million. That's a lot of paddles and plastic balls, I'd say. Pickleball enthusiasts in Vegas are probably doing backflips. But what about the rest of us? Are taxpayers in Maine really thrilled about funding a sports complex in Nevada? I mean, I love a good game of table tennis myself, but I don't expect the government to pick up my tab for my new EULA table. It makes you wonder, doesn't it? As the old saying goes, government is that great fiction by which everyone tries to live at the expense of everyone else. Or in this case, paying for Vegas to have the ultimate pickleball paradise. Number 6, $2.6 million on making cartoons for kids in Pakistan. Apparently the U.S. Agency of International Development, or USAID, the thing that just got shut down, didn't just start wasting money recently, as this was another of their pet projects to supposedly democratize other countries. Because obviously what America really needs to spend its tax dollars on is a cartoon for kids halfway around the world. The idea was to spread a positive image of America. Meanwhile, we've got school lunches that look like they belong in an evidence locker. But sure, let's make sure little Mohammed in Islamabad gets his wholesome American cartoons. Yeah, that's not a good look for our fearless leaders. Number 5, the $27 million Moroccan Pottery initiative. Back in 2009, USAID launched a 4-year, $27 million project aimed at boosting Morocco's economy and competitiveness. It sounds fancy, right? But here's where it gets interesting. A chunk of this budget went to teaching Moroccan artisans how to make pottery. Yes, pottery. We decided to teach Moroccans, people with a rich history of pottery dating back to 6000 BC, how to craft clay pots. That's like setting up a school to teach penguins how to swim. And it gets better. The American instructor didn't speak the local language, and the translator barely spoke English, so the classes were about as clear as, well, mud. And it gets worse. Roughly $2.2 million was allocated to this artisan training. My community center has classes for $50. That seems a tad pricey. Now let's do some quick math here. We've got $2.2 million for pottery classes out of a $27 million project. So if we divide $2.2 million by $27 million, what do we get? That's roughly 8% of the total budget. 8% of the budget for the actual pottery classes? What was the other 92% spent on?
Dad, did you order this?
Okay, I have a problem with Home Shopping Network. I got a problem, I admit it. Number 4, the U.S. Navy Marine Mammal Program. The Navy apparently decided that modern technology was overrated. Instead of using fancy sonar, they thought, why not train dolphins and sea lions to find underwater mines? I mean, what could go wrong? I wonder if they had to get background checked. We're talking about Flipper with a top secret clearance. So millions of dollars later, we have highly trained sea creatures swimming around looking for trouble. I mean, sure, they might be cute, but are they really the best defense against enemy submarines? So if something goes wrong, we're having Flipper for dinner? On the plus side, if they were ever caught by the enemy, they'd be able to keep their mouths shut. Unless you offered them fish. Number 3, $20 million for Veterans Affairs art. Okay, get ready for this one. While our brave veterans are waiting months for medical appointments, and tragically, some never even made it, the VA decided to spend a whopping $20 million on art. Artwork. I mean, seriously. And not just any art. How about $670,000 for sculptures? I get this, at a facility for blind veterans. I'm not making this up, you can check it out yourself. Apparently the VA thought that abstract metal blobs were exactly what our heroes needed while they were struggling to get basic health care. I mean, I appreciate art as much as the next person, but priorities, people, come on. Imagine trying to explain to a blind veteran why they have to wait 6 months for a checkup, but there's a shiny new sculpture they can't even see out in the lobby. Yeah, I support the arts as I said, but shouldn't we just take care of our veterans' health first? I guess when they said the VA had a bold new vision, it wasn't for the vets. Number 2, $10 million for school internet equipment, the warehouse of forgotten routers. All right, folks, let's talk tech, or rather the lack thereof. Department of Education decided generously to bless schools with $10 million worth of internet equipment. Sounds great, right? Except it turns out most of that equipment ended up in a warehouse, collecting more dust than data. In Chicago, they found $5 million worth of routers and switches and cables just sitting there gathering dust unused. Apparently the plan was to modernize schools, but someone forgot to tell the schools they were getting all this stuff. It's like ordering a pizza and then leaving it on the doorstep for a month. So while kids were struggling with ancient computers, a mountain of brand new equipment was chilling in a warehouse, probably having its own little internet party. Apparently their solution to the digital divide was to create a physical divide between schools and the tech they needed. And lastly, number 1, $28 million for Camouflage, a catastrophe. When you pay to be seen. And now for the grand finale. The pièce de la résistance of government spending gone wild. A whopping $28 million on a new camouflage pattern. Sounds like a smart investment, right? Keeping our troops hidden and safe. Well, when you're spending other people's money, anything that can go wrong will go wrong. Turns out the geniuses at the Pentagon designed a camo pattern that was so bad, it actually made soldiers more visible. That's right, more visible. Instead of blending in, our troops looked like they were starring in a psychedelic rave in the middle of the desert. It was less hidden in plain sight and more, here we are, please shoot at us. Wonder if someone got a promotion out of it. Don't rule that out. Well, so there you have it, folks. The government's greatest hits of wasteful spending. Remember these the next time you wonder where your tax dollars are going. And if you think this is bad, just wait till next year. Don't forget to like and subscribe, if we earned it. And comment below with the dumbest government spending you've ever heard of. And as always, keep climbing.
And in the morning, I'm making waffles.